Hi, Kel. Mate, just looking at this wave from the other day, a little bit, didn't really zoom in too much here, but it's a pretty ordinary wave, but I just want to be hypercritical here and talk you through it. So I'll have a look, and the main thing I'm talking about is your decision at first. You sort of looked at it and you thought to yourself, I'm going to hit it. I think your initial thought was that you're going to do a vertical Rio, and then you realised that it was a bit fat, and so then you decided you better cut back. But the trouble was you got yourself in a situation where, because you didn't make that decision early enough, you were sort of having to do like a little snap, and then when you drove back into the whitewater, you didn't get high and tight off the lip. And I think really the most important thing is to think that, if it's fat, cut back, and so if it's fat, cut back, and I think you've got to think about that straight away. So I'll just play it through for you one time and have a look and see what I'm talking about. The second turn, of course, you're looking to do a little bit of a snap off the top, and I'll talk about that in a minute too. So just get back to the start. I'll just go through and I'll just pause at this point here. So at this point here, you realise that, hang on a second, this is not going to be the wave I thought it was, and so it's fat. So what you probably should have done is you should have driven out a little bit further onto the face, come back down off the bottom. So if I grab a line here, let me see. I'll grab this one here. Basically, if you would have come up here, fairly high tight, up to about that point, and then from there, taken a, I'll get that one now, taken a line back down to the bottom, and then basically off the bottom back up here somewhere. And that's what you wanted to do. Instead, if you see what happens, I'll get rid of that. Now, if you see what happens, you sort of do a half snap into the whitewater, but not very deep. So I'll just go through slow-mo and just have a look. You see how you initiate here, but you don't go high and tight. And that's a big mistake. Now you come off the bottom, you drive really nice bottom position. You're looking to eyeball that section, but then when you do, and I'll just play this through slow, you don't actually hit as high as you should have. So if I look at where I think you should have hit, it should be up here. Instead, what's happened is your angle of driving through is up here, and that difference is going to make a huge difference in scoring potential for that wave. So what I'm talking about, once again, is turning like a, probably like a 4.5 wave into a sort of maybe a 6 or a 7. And I think every time you surf, that's what you've got to be thinking about doing, is turning those scores that are average scores into good scores into excellent, etc. So I'll play through, I'll just finish it off. You can see what happens. You throw a little bit of spray, but not much else happens there. So I'll go one more time back to the beginning, and we'll play it through at slow-mo and just have a look. So here, okay, so you realised it was fat, and now you start driving back into the whitewater. I think really what you should have been thinking about here is possibly taking your line, as I said, out here further, and then around here like that, and then back. And that's the figure 8 we're talking about, and that gets you into a deep position for your next turn as well. So all in all, I'm being hyper-critical, but that's my job, I'm not going to settle for second best anymore from you. You're too far into your career for that. So if I look at this here, and just pause that, I still would like to see you probably a little bit more on rail here, so that you're going to come up to here somewhere nice and tight. That didn't happen. So the other thing I want you to think about is getting above the lit line for this turn. So as we move forward now, my voice is about to go, just cut it short. It would look so much better if you had that board above the lit line. But all in all, progressing well. You're up in that stage where you're up against those elite surfers, and if you want to beat those surfers, and you want to get yourself to the CT level, which is what we're aiming at, and I'm confident you can get there, then we just got to push it that little bit further. So I hope that helps.